Hi, love. Welcome back to the Wild Goddess series. Today we are on part 2, and today's video is all about how to claim your motherfucking power and heal if you are feeling like you are not enough. So stay tuned for all the goodness we're going to talk about today. I realize every time I click on my computer to open up my notes, you guys can hear it on here. So if you're wondering what I'm doing, that's what it is. So today we're going to be talking about why you are so motherfucking enough. We're going to be talking a little bit about inner child healing as well. And I'm going to give you guys some different healing tools that you can use, like I said, to claim your power, to really heal this worthiness block. And this is something I've talked about in a lot of my courses before, but like not in this way. This is like next level fucking shit. So this came up so fucking strongly all week, honestly. Worthiness, self-love, self-love. Maybe it's because Valentine's Day is coming up. I don't really know. But yesterday I went to lunch with a friend and we were talking about worthiness, and it just seemed like a common theme that kept coming up. And I really tuned in during my meditation time to what the collective needed today. And my angels and guides were like, yes, we're talking about this today. So all the other things that I mentioned in part 1, where we were going to talk more about the feminine energy, the masculine energy. I was also going to talk to you guys a little bit more about the illusion and lie that I was living in that I didn't even realize I was living in. Well, those things are all going to be going in the course, the Wild Goddess course. Amongst some of the other things that I mentioned, those things are going in the course because my guides really want me to put this stuff that is going in the free series here and now. So let's just dive into it. So this morning I found a tapping video, which is something that I used to do a lot of. And if you don't know what tapping is, essentially you're just like tapping different, I think they're called meridian points. I'm not like an official tapping teacher person, but I've worked with many healers that have done it. I've actually done tapping sessions for my clients during my healing retreats, and it actually came back into my awareness recently because a beautiful soul had won my virtual healing retreat last week, and he emailed me and was telling me that the tapping gave him a huge shift. And every morning I make an intention to pray and ask my angels to guide me, show me what I need to heal this, show me how I need to show up online, what do my people need, what do they need help with. I ask for advice in like every area of life. And I heard the clear message to look up a You Are Enough tapping video. So I came across this tapping video, and basically, back to the meridian points things, I won't try to explain that too much, but everything is energy. So when we are blocked in any area of life, you probably heard me talk about this if you've ever listened to any of my videos. It's either a subconscious block, I think I talked about this in part 1, or a block within our chakras. And what tapping does, just similar to journaling, but in a different way, it's kind of working with both. It's working like with your energy body, which is where your chakras are housed. And it's also working with your subconscious. So when you're tapping, you're actually going to get information that you didn't even know was there. And these are just some of the different meridian points. What's the other one? There's a bunch of different ones. I'll actually be creating a tapping video on this topic, You Are Enough, and worthiness and confidence and power, specifically for the people in the Wild Goddess course. So I came across this video, I did it, and I realized that I had this big block with worthiness that was different than I actually thought it was, because it had you identify where it was sitting in your body and identify the root cause. And this is something I teach myself to my clients, and I do myself all the time. But something about it today, like I just had a fucking shift, and I was like, that makes so much sense. And when you're doing the tapping, you're able to energetically clear the blocks that are coming up. So this shit is so motherfucking powerful. And like I said, I'll be filming something in the course, or not something, a tapping video for you all in the course so that you can dive into that. But you can also, that was really weird. I'm filming on Zoom and it just like completely blanked out. Blowing up Zoom and the internet. So I don't know if it caught everything that I was saying, but I'll have that in the course for you, and you can check out my forgiveness meditation now to start really clearing out some of these blocks and getting some awareness on what you may be holding resentment towards, because that's going to block you and that's going to block your healing from happening. So I'll leave that link in the comments below, and I'll also link up my free chakra ebook so that you can dive into learning more about the chakras. If you don't know already, I will link that up. But the big thing that I realized for myself, and I'm going to tell this story because I feel like it needs to be heard, like I feel like someone's going to connect with it and relate to it. So I thought that one of my big blocks of worthiness was related to something that happened a couple years ago that had to do with money, and it didn't. What I discovered during this tapping session was that it had to do with, in 2017, 4 years ago, when I was still doing my first business, my network marketing fitness coaching business. That's a mouthful. Basically, that was the year that I like really came out of the spiritual closet. It was my second time living in Hawaii, and I finally stopped being afraid to post about like my oracle cards or post about my crystals. I literally always have crystals with me. This one reminds me, it's a very small dildo looking thing, but the points always remind me of dildos, but I always love the points. So wands, it makes me think of like the Ace of Wand cards. If you know tarot, you know what I'm talking about. I'm a pervert. That's why you guys love me, right? So back to what I was saying. I came out of the spiritual closet, just dropped my crystal and it went into my crotch. And all of these clients that I had in this business, like I was very religious. You may have heard me tell this story on other videos. If you haven't, you can actually watch my, what did I call the video? Hang on a second. My "You Are Exactly Where You're Meant to Be" video. You can go watch that video and listen to a little bit more about my story. But I was very religious growing up. I grew up in the South. It was a very conservative place, and I never lived away from the South. I lived in different states in the South, but I never moved away from the South until I was 26, I think, or 27, something like that. So I come out of my spiritual closet and got all of this rejection. And a lot of my clients in that business actually left. And they said that I was really out there, and that my new, because I would do like calls for the people that I was mentoring, and they would tell me like, your calls have become way too out there, because I started talking more about the law of attraction. I started talking more about healing, because that shit is literally 80 to 90% of the equation to success anyway. All the action, hustle, bullshit energy, like I talked about the other day, is not actually what matters the most. Side tangent. So that is the block that came up today during that tapping session for me. And I was like, holy fuck, this actually makes so much sense. So what I did, and what you can do now, is you can ask Archangel Michael. I'm going to have you guys rub your palms together, actually, because I feel like it's important to connect it to your heart chakra. So rubbing your palms together, because this activates our heart chakra. Taking a deep breath in and out. Placing your hands over your heart. We're just going to ask Archangel Michael to come in right now and take back any of your energy, soul fragments, or power that you have given away over to whatever this situation is for you, the root cause of your unworthiness, from all the people involved. And just see that pouring back in through your crown chakra and through the top of your head. And just see this golden energy filling your entire being up, your physical being. Filling up your aura, magnetizing you to miracles and healing and self-love. Just breathing that in, feeling the healing, feeling your power coming back in, breathing it out. You may even want to visualize your solar plexus chakra 3 inches above your navel being lit up. It's the color yellow. Seeing your heart chakra, which is the color green, being lit up. Claiming your motherfucking power. And you can open your eyes. And you can do this as much as you need to, as often as you need to. I do that exercise all the motherfucking time. So the other shift that I really had while doing this tapping, it's something that she said in the video. And this is something that I've said before and I've said to my clients, but this is also why I'm constantly a student myself, and I have mentors myself and do personal development all the time myself, because like this journey never stopped. You know, we want to continue being better. So in the video, I'm just looking at my notes, she was saying something about how when people don't accept us or think that we're not enough, it's actually their own shit. It's actually them struggling with it themselves. They're not accepting themselves. They don't think that they're enough. And their woundedness or their act of like withholding love from you has actually nothing to do with you. And again, like I just said, I've taught that so many times myself. Excuse me. This is like confirmation. So, side tangent. I was going to explain something else, but it's not relevant. So basically, the reason I said confirmation is because I feel like a lot of times, like when we burp or weird things happen, like that's our guides confirming that yes, this is the truth. And I totally just forgot what I was saying. Okay, yeah. So like it was a reminder that I needed. And I felt like someone out there, you beautiful souls, needed that reminder today too. And when you really think about the people that you feel this way about, the situation or the person or people, for me, it was multiple people like that caused it. And you really think about that and see them from that framework, mind frame, whatever the fuck the word is. It really gives you like a different perspective. It helps you to have more compassion for them, because when I realized that again, I was like, oh yeah, like fuck. And it just made me want to send them love. So this is a very brief video today. I think that we're just going to keep it at this, but I felt like it was really important. Actually, I feel like what we're going to do right now real quick, because I have a couple other things I was going to mention in my notes. What I feel guided to do with you all real quick is to just do a brief tapping session with you guys for a couple minutes. Before we do that, I'm going to give you your journaling homework for today. And I'm thinking that we're going to be talking more about claiming your power. I feel like that's going to be the last video for this series. But like I said in part one, I always go with the flow, tune into what you all need, and then create based on that. So we'll just see what happens. So your homework for today is to write out post-it love notes to yourself for the 5 most difficult parts of yourself. So think about the 5 most difficult parts of yourself that you reject or that you're trying to change or whatever it is, and write out post-it notes. You don't have to do post-it notes. You can do it in your journal if you want to. This is something that I actually pulled a card for myself today from the Numinous Astro deck. So I'm giving credit to that Oracle deck. This is their journaling prompt that I was like, oh my God, my people need this. So just think about any parts of yourself that you're rejecting, like I said, and write a love note to yourself for those, and, you know, reframe it. Like for me, some of my things, instead of like shaming myself for sometimes doing too much, sometimes making myself exhausted, sometimes trying to control stuff, sometimes feeling too sensitive. Those are some of my things. I was like, wow, Jess, I love you so much that you're so committed to like serving the planet and your mission that like sometimes you just do too much even though you should rest. Or, you know, Jess, I love you so much that you're so committed to transformation of your own life and your ascension that sometimes you just try to control things, like because you're so committed to making shit happen. For the sensitivity one, you know, I said something about how I love you so much that you're so sensitive that you know when you need to go into hermit mode and not socialize and take care of yourself. So just some examples. And then a bonus homework for you is to write out a list of all the progress you've made this week, even if it's small, quote unquote, because nothing is small or not important. Instead of focusing on, I'm saying this in quotations, how far you still have to go. Because the thing is, and this is something I did myself today, this is something I made up, and it's similar, I think we talked about that in part one or another video I made recently. This is so important because when we're on this journey of self-growth, ascension, spiritual awakening, whatever the fuck you want to call it, or whatever you identify with, we're always going to have goals. We're always going to be in progress. Even when we get to like one goal, we're going to be going after the next goal. So we have to learn how to enjoy the motherfucking journey and stop like picking ourselves apart for the areas where there's a squirrel playing outside my window. Look up the spiritual meaning of squirrel if you feel guided to. I feel like that's a message for someone. But it's out there playing and jumping. So I feel like, you know, our inner child needs some love today. Last train of thought again. Yeah, so we're always on this journey. It's always a work in progress. So instead of thinking of all the things that we still need to change or want to change or whatever, think about like, wow, look at all the fucking shit that I have improved or changed this week. Look at all the progress I've made. And even if it's something small and minute, quotations, because nothing is small or minute, celebrate your motherfucking self. Let your inner child out and play and have fun. I'll leave that typed out in the comments below, but just as a review, your homework for today, write out post-it love notes to yourself for the 5 most difficult parts of yourself. And a bonus homework is to write out a list of all your progress you've made this week. instead of focusing on how far you think you still have to go. The beautiful thing about doing this work today, or whenever you come across this video, but today specifically is the new moon in Aquarius. And the new moon is all about calling in new energy, manifesting new energy. And with this work that we're doing today, we're actually releasing and making space for the new to come in. And a lot of people, you know, we do this on the full moons and it's relevant then, but I'm constantly working on releasing myself, I'm constantly working on releasing all the time myself, not just on the full moon. Petting my cat because she looks cute. So we're going to be making that room to bring in those beautiful new moon intentions today on the new moon in Aquarius. So let's go ahead and go into our little tapping video, or tapping portion of the video. Oh, and PS, make sure you do the forgiveness meditation if you feel like you need to clear out some of this resentment. I'll link that up in the comments below. So let's get into this tapping for you are enough. So with tapping, we're going to start, you're going to use these two fingers, whatever those two fingers are called, your pointer and your middle. And you're basically going to tap like this part of your hand. Can't talk. So just start tapping it. The words will start coming to me in a second because I'm basically channeling when I'm doing this. Taking a deep breath in and out. Setting the intention to release anything that is no longer serving you, that is blocking your worthiness, that's blocking you from abundance, that's making you feel like you are not enough. We set the intention to release this now. Across all timelines, all directions, past, present, and future. Clear it out right now. Okay. So even though I feel like I am not enough, and sometimes I feel like a failure, I'm sorry, I didn't say this, you're gonna repeat after me. Even though sometimes I feel like I'm not enough and I feel like a failure, I completely and unconditionally love, honor, and accept myself. Even though sometimes I feel like I'm not enough, I'm gonna use my whole hand because that's easier. You can do the same. Even though sometimes I feel like I'm not enough, I feel like I'm a failure, I completely and unconditionally love, honor, and accept myself. You might want to take some deep breaths in and out as we're doing this. Even though sometimes I feel like a motherfucking failure, judge the fuck out of myself, beat myself up, I completely and unconditionally love, honor, and accept myself. Okay, we're going to go here in between your eyes, basically where your third eye point is. Even though sometimes I feel like I fucking suck. We're going to go over here next to your eye. Basically, you can't see it because my bangs are in the way. Even though sometimes I feel like I'm never going to get to where I want to, I judge myself, I don't feel loved. Go down here under that. I completely and unconditionally love, honor, and accept myself. Go right here above the mouth. Even though I feel like I suck. Even though I feel like a failure. Going down here below to the chin. Even though I feel like I'm never going to be confident. Going here to your brow bone. Down here my necklace. I completely and unconditionally love, honor, and accept myself. Now we're going down here underneath, basically your side boob. Even though I feel like I suck, even though I judge the fuck out of myself, even though I don't feel like I'm enough, I fucking claim that I'm enough. I claim that I'm powerful right now in this moment, and I completely and unconditionally love, honor, and accept myself. Now we're going to the top of your head. I'm doing it on top of my hat. Even though I feel like a failure, even though I feel like I suck sometimes, even though sometimes I feel powerless, right now I'm claiming my motherfucking power. I know that I'm enough. I know that I'm so motherfucking worthy. And I completely and unconditionally love, honor, and accept myself. Taking a deep breath in. Release one last time. In and release. Okay, so that's like a very, very short version of it. And we would stay in each meridian point longer than what we did, but I just wanted to give you guys an example. So let me know how that goes. Let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you enjoyed it, if you have any questions at all, and if there's anything else that you want to see coming up with videos for me in the series or just later on. I love you all. Happy pre-Valentine's Day, since it'll be this weekend. And I probably won't be talking to you before then. Even if you're single, love the fuck out of yourself. It doesn't matter, you guys. I've been single for so fucking long. Like the last time I was in a long-term relationship was 2015, and I haven't been out on any dates since 2019. So that's okay. Like you don't have to have somebody to have a great Valentine's Day or a great day in general. Celebrate your fucking self, love yourself, do something nice for yourself. And if you're not single, celebrate your partner, love your partner, do something nice for them, and enjoy each other. I love you all. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you soon. Bye.